I could say that I've grown as a person. I've been talking about Mario Kart for over 2 years. I've lost everyone dear to me. I've become isolated in the world we now live in, where everything is bad and the only way to survive is in our own homes, as we live in the past quarantine era where many people still want to remain quarantined, but we're here, aren't we? But I've been thinking about the good old days of 2 years ago. Good thing Keon left his time machine from the last time he was over. I wonder how it works. Mario Kart Wii. Made for the Nintendo. Whoa, where am I?
Who the hell are you?
I'm you from the future.
How was the booster course pass?
Well, you predicted DS Mario Circuit, Riverside Park, Rosalina's Ice World, and the SNES Bowser's Castle, so props to you.
So, what's the future like?
Nah, it's alright. Argentina won the World Cup.
What the fuck is in Argentina?
What the? You can swear?
I guess the future wasn't very kind to you. I could say words like fuck, shit, cock.
Don't push your luck. Anyways, what are you up to?
I was just about to rank every Mario Kart Wii track.
Oh, I'm in this video. It's dark here. What's going on?
Yeah, it's just pure void here.
At least I have a room.
So why have you come back in time?
To do this. That's for Offstenberg. Oops, I may have accidentally killed my past self and might only have 18 minutes until the future timeline is erased. If I rank every Mario Kart Wii track again, I can maybe fill in for past me and not erase the future. So here we go again. But before that, some ground rules. I rank these tracks based off difficulty, layout, and music, and rank them in a tier list starting with our F tiers. And one more thing, these are my opinions. So if I ranked a track that you liked low or vice versa, then tough luck, here's a cookie. Now let's go save the future. You want to know what's crazy? I ranked N64 Sherbet Land 18th in that last ranking. Maybe I did deserve to die. I don't get the appeal of this track. It's so boring. You're mostly driving on ice, which is pretty annoying. This track is also plain, and there's nothing but penguins on the track. There's a small ramp shortcut with sure. I do like the cave, but besides that, there's nothing special, and this track deserves the award of the worst Mario Kart Wii track. Funny how after 2 years, DS Yoshi Falls still fails to make it to the top 30. Yoshi Falls is another plain and boring track, whose only interesting feature is the waterfall, which is why it beats Sherbet Land, because at least Yoshi Falls is short and painless, while Sherbet Land is long and repetitive. Guys, I really tried to like DK's Jungle Parkway, but it was just so boring. When looking back on the original video, I thought I unjustly ranked Parkway low, but now after playing, I see that my opinion from 2 years ago still stands. It's alright. But yeah, we've made it to our D tiers with GCN Peach Beach. And the f you want me to say about it? It's boring, but at least it's short. And the cataquacks are cool, but besides— is that a penis? We've reached the worst Nitro track, being Luigi Circuit. Shocker. Luigi Circuit is another boring track, but at least it has a cool Luigi statue, and hey, I like Luigi. Whoa, dude, that's so retro, dude. Whoa. Dude, I just realized I have to play back-to-back Mario circuits with GCN than this. All jokes aside, it's Mario Circuit 3, but at least at this point it hasn't been remade to death. And yeah, I think this Mario Circuit suits Mario Kart Wii well, but it's Mario Circuit 3, it's not gonna get far. Oh, a classic. Figure 8 Circuit 2 was another boring track, but it has a chain jump, D. It's okay, but can I just not talk about a circuit track for 5 more rankings? Also, fun fact, in the original video, this was 28th, while Luigi Circuit was 26th. And they've switched in this video. These are the only tracks to do so. Well, actually, there's another pair, but later on. The music unironically carries this track. I think that if Shy Guy Beach was remade into Mario Kart, who treated the retro tracks better, then this track could definitely have been better. And I think this track definitely has potential with the bombs. But I guess top of D tier will be the best it can do. And now we move on to our C tiers. Want to know how long I've been playing 8 Deluxe? I used to like this track more than the 8 Deluxe version. I like the big hedges, going right on the beginning turn. I like the flowers being thick and the peace sign hedges. But now after playing 8 Deluxe for 200 hours... Wait, that's all I kinda expected more. Going back to the Wii variants of this track, man, this track is ugly as hell. It's just so boring and uninspiring. I mean, yeah, it's f***ing Moo Moo Meadows. What do you want me to say about it? I've played too much 8 and gotten used to how good that track looks. But this track is pretty pleasant, but boring compared to everything else. We live in a society where DS Desert Hills is 22nd, which is 1 spot higher than where I left it off last time. I think this track is alright for a desert track, better than the fucking fraud on 8th Avenue. But like I've said with a bunch of tracks below this one, compared to everything else, this track is okay. Daisy Circuit. This is a track I haven't played much in 8 Deluxe, mostly because it was newer, and so I think the Wii version is actually better than the 8 Deluxe version. Its remake just takes so much out of it, while the original is this orange sunset-esque track with orange road and orange sky. The 8 Deluxe version removes most of the orange of this track, but I still think Daisy Circuit is a good track, but at this point I could take it or leave it. This is the last track of Mario Kart Wii. I mean, it works, but I would have preferred a Rainbow Road or something. This track is definitely intimidating and does its job. However, I don't like the music here though. It's probably my least favorite soundtrack in the game. And compared to the other Bowser's Castles, I mean, top 20 isn't that bad, right? To top off our C tiers, we have Grumble Volcano, which is not only the first track to change mid-race, but the only non-Bowser track to have lava in it. So right off the bat, we have Grumble Volcano beating 2 records. Another thing, it's one of 4 tracks who have the same ranking as last time, with another one being Daisy Circuit, and the other 2 showing up later. This is a pretty good track. I think the only thing holding this track back, in my opinion, is the length. I kinda wish it was longer, but that's hardly a complaint. So what the fuck am I complaining about? At the bottom of B tier, we have another track remade in 8. At this point, should I even feel concerned? We got Moonview Highway. The music isn't as good as an 8, but holy shit, do the cars make up for that. This ain't your toddler's fucking car with the face on them. These are Lightning McQueen cars ready to strike at you without notice. Same way Japan launched a surprise attack on the US Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor. Dude, I just compared a fucking Mario Kart track to the bombings of Pearl Harbor. What the fuck am I doing? This track is the only one to actually get my adrenaline pumping because god damn are those cars unforgiving. But this track is definitely the best not Tour City track of all time. You see, this is how you make a good Mario circuit. Take notes, Figure 8 Circuit 2. This track is just so cheery and happy-go-lucky that it almost makes me forget about all the horrors going on in the world. I ain't got no time for presidential elections or whatever the fuck's going on in the Middle East. I'm playing GCN Mario Circuit, the pleasantest Mario Kart Wii track. Is that a word? I don't give a Soviet fuck. From 29th to 16, GBA Bowser Castle 3 went up 13 spots. This is definitely one of my favorite tracks to play. The music is fun, the layout is... well, that's a fucking H, mate. I wish this was longer as I just want to keep playing this track over and over. Jeez, if Mario Circuit 3 is this good and only in 16th, how much better are the other tracks? Okay, this is definitely the best desert track because it doesn't take place on the fucking sand all the time. Obviously, you drive on sand at the beginning, but that's not what got this track 15. You see that third word in the track's name? You see where I'm going with this? Woo! Ruins, baby! They call me Illinois' John! My favorite part about this track is the half pipe that you have to take to avoid the sand, which is nice foreshadowing to a later track in this cup. It's clever, and I respect this track for not just being a fucking desert. This might come to a surprise to some, but I love SNES Ghost Valley 2. I just love breezing through this track due to it being a short track. I also love the shortcut over the bottomless pit. It's such a fun track that even though I criticized other tracks for being plain, short, and boring, this track is short enough where you can beat it in under a minute. And sometimes I like to play this track and basically speedrun it and beat it under a minute. Also, ghosts! Who doesn't like ghosts? Take what I said about GCN Mario Circuit and replace cheery and happy-go-lucky with intense and competitive. This feels like the cooler version of GCN Mario Circuit, and I will never understand why I ranked it so low in my original video. This track has a pipe near the end that you can drive and trick on. It has this fun turn to take, lots of grass and shortcut potential, and the music. Don't even get me started on the music. This might not be the most unique Mario Circuit, but it's called Mario Raceway, so it might as well be. Starting off the A tiers, we have one of the 4 iconic Mario Kart Wii tracks. And like last time, last place is Koopa Cape. Now don't get me wrong, I like Koopa Cape. I think this version is better than the A Deluxe version. I just think that compared to the rest of A and S tiers, this track cannot hold its own against any other tracks, as I think we've reached a gap. You see, while this track is like an 8.5 out of 10, 11th place is around 9 to 9.5 out of 10. And Koopa Cape is lucky enough to even be with the A tiers. Another one of the icon tracks. Wii Maple Treeway was originally going to be placed much lower down on the list, but I played it over and over time. I got better at a certain turn and decided that 11th is the best it can go. I know that many people have this track ranked as their favorite, and I can definitely see it. This track is just really fun to play on. You have the net bridge, the cannon, the wigglers, the half pipe. This track is just really great. However, I'm not other people. I'm left-handed, so I think Maple Treeway gets placed right outside the top 10. Speaking of which, now the top 10 consists of the same tracks as last time, except for Treeway, but most of them have been switched around at different places. Like how DS Delfino Square was originally in 9th, but is now in 10. That doesn't mean I dislike Delfino Square more than before. If anything, my love for Delfino Square has increased. It's just that so have the other courses in the top 10. You see, Delfino Square, you drive through a town. There's a drawbridge. You want to know another track that does this? Fucking Tour London Loops. But even with that, this is still one of my favorite tracks in Mario Kart Wii and DS tracks of all time. It's funny how the top 2 retro tracks are both GCN tracks. DK Mountain. We love DK Mountain. Nothing can ever go wrong on DK Mountain. DK Mountain is love. DK Mountain is life. I like DK Mountain. It's such a fun track, getting shot out of a cannon and making your way down the mountain, passing through a section where you can skip over the gap. And of course we have the bridge. Let's skip that. The only reason DK Mountain isn't higher is because there's a way better version of this track. Another cult classic. Who doesn't love a little Coconut Mall? I mean, sure, it's definitely unique, and it makes me wonder why Nintendo haven't made a similar track since. I mean, come on, who doesn't want to see Cantaloupe District in Mario Kart 9? Maybe it's because this track is so fun to play, Nintendo's just gonna bring it back in every Mario Kart since. However, this might be a little controversial, but I brought up the bombing of Pearl Harbor, so what else is new? I like the 8 Deluxe version more. I know, but that game suits the track way more than in Wii. Not to give crap to the Wii version, it has its highlights, like the escalators and the parking lot. Get the fuck out of the way, Grandma! I just don't like taking the upper route at the end of the mall section. Without the glider, it just feels so strange. But this is still one of the best tracks in the game through and through. I forgot to mention it with the last track, but starting with Coconut Mall, these tracks are going to be an S tier. But I decided to treat the S tiers more like a podium, like I did with the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe ranking, and only have the top 5 in S tier. Anyways, this is definitely the best Bowser's Castle in Mario Kart Wii, and I would say it's a top 3 Bowser's Castle. I don't think it quite beats out Mario Kart DS's yet, but things can change. We can't mention Wii's Bowser's Castle without mentioning the Bowser Room with the giant robot Bowser from Double Dash making a return and shooting fireballs at you, making you take the half pipes. Foreshadowing. To avoid them. Then there's the one glitch where you can just go through to the second floor by taking the right path. Easily an S tier track. If only it made it to the top 5. The best of the iconic tracks, we got our good lad, Mushroom George. And what's not to love? Well, funny story. If I had made this video 2 months before, I would have probably said this is my least favorite George to play due to the physics, but I now realize that the physics is what make this track. It's fun bouncing off the mushrooms hoping you land on the other mushrooms and not undershoot it like I just did over there. Dumbass. But there's also the left route in case you want to avoid the mushrooms like a pussy. Who here's a pussy? I take the route. And of course we have the giant chasm with the mushrooms, and then we have another chasm I'm not even gonna bother with. And that's the Mushroom George. Big and bouncy, like my balls. We've made it to our S tier tracks. These were all extremely close, and at some points it was too close to call. But I ended up giving 5th place to our winner from the original video, Wii's Toad's Factory. Now, I used to be the biggest Toad's Factory glazer. Look, here's my poster I would hang on my wall. But I've matured. I've grown as a person. I've killed myself. As much as I still like Toad's Factory, I no longer believe it's the best track in Mario Kart Wii. Because as much as a good track as it is, it's just a rectangle with a dent in it. It's still unique and we haven't seen a factory track since. And I still stand by the fact that it should have been brought back. The fact that they haven't is stupid. I think at this point we're gonna get GTA 6 before Toad's Factory. Wario, you thick man, I f***ing love it. Wario's Gold Mine is one of my new favorite Mario Kart Wii tracks. I know it's supposed to be a gold mine and it takes place in a cave and all that jazz, but I see this as a roller coaster. The track, the carts, the adrenaline. It might not be as intense as Moonview Highways, but it's still there. The only downside to this track is the small section with the bats. It's annoying, and Wario's Gold Mine could have easily made the top 3 without it, but the top 3 are literally perfect and without flaws, so Wario's Gold Mine is stuck at 4th. The best retro track, exactly where we left it. GCN Waluigi Stadium is the best possible track they could have brought back to Mario Kart. It's literally a dirt bike stadium. In a game that introduces bikes as vehicles. You could have told me that this track is a nitro track, and I would have called you an idiot because I know my Mario Kart tracks by heart. But if you told someone who didn't know about Mario Kart, they would probably believe you. Waluigi Stadium is such a good track. It's the first GCN track they brought back to the Booster Course Pass. They took their sweet ass time doing so, but it's the thought that counts or something. After all this time, and even with Toad's Factory being dethroned, Rainbow Road is still in second. This is my favorite Rainbow Road behind 7's, and it's such a beautiful track. I kinda hoped it looked like this in 8th though. This is the hardest track in the game, and for good reason. One wrong move and I'm crashing down somewhere in Nova Scotia. But these jumps are extremely satisfying to pull off. And the music. This might be my favorite Rainbow Road theme of all time. Hell, probably my favorite Mario Kart soundtrack of all time. It's such beautiful music featuring Mario Galaxy music. The layout is great also. You start off by going down a basically 90-degree slope into a sharp turn on a wavy road, then driving around some holes and an S-turn, into a cannon, the half pipe. This is what Dry Dry Ruins and Bowser's Castle were preparing you for. And the end of the track is mediocre at best, but I think that's what prevented it from getting first place. Because this next track is fun to play all the track. Like, there are no mediocre sections. The entire track is intense and fun. For my favorite Mario Kart Wii track of all time, so many to choose from. There are those obvious choices, Coconut Mall, Maple Treeway, Rainbow Road, but those are all too obvious. At least 100 people have had those tracks as their number one. But my number one will be more uncommon. It's an extremely popular track that has even made its return in 8 Deluxe. However, I still think the Wii version is the best version to play on. My number one Mario Kart Wii track, if you haven't figured it out already, is DK Summit. DK Summit is my favorite Mario Kart Wii track of all time. As of August 25th, 2024 at least. I don't know, maybe in 2 years I'll make another ranking. But for now, DK Summit is such a fun track. Getting shot out of a cannon and making your way down the mountain, passing through a section where you can skip over the gap. Whoa, deja vu. Yeah, this track is very similar to GC and DK Mountain. However, the reason I think it's better is because of the half pipes. You see, Mario Kart introduced the half pipes, and DK Summit probably has the best use of half pipes in the entirety of the game. Right off the bat, after landing from the cannon, hard drift left to the half pipe and you'll get some crazy airtime. Then you got some classic hills and slopes, the gap jump, which is easier than in DK Mountain. Then we have the ending, snowboarding Shy Guys, and there's also half pipes you can take, which kinda foreshadow Rainbow Road again. This is also the only other track besides the Wii circuits that swap with their original placement, this time being with Toad's Factory. So that's cool. Overall, Wii DK Summit is my favorite Mario Kart Wii track. Alright, I did it! I ranked every Mario Kart Wii track from worst to best. That should be good enough, right? Did I fix the future? Is the timeline getting replaced? Phew, I'm back. Now where was I? Oh hey, a time machine. Keon must have left it. What an idiot. Reminds me of the good old days. I could say that I've grown as a person. I've been talking about Mario Kart for over 2 years. I've lost everyone dear to me. I've become isolated in the world we now live in, where everything is bad and the only way to survive is in our own homes, as we live in the past quarantine era where many people still want to remain quarantined, but we're here, aren't we? But I've been thinking about the good old days of 2 years ago. Good thing Keon left his time machine from the last time he was over. I wonder how it works. Not again. Not again.